and I'm getting mighty tired of your trifling ways and of listening to that jackass Bray.
Am I my brother's keeper? This topic can be quite divisive, and rightly so. My goal here is not to create an echo chamber, but to provoke thought or thoughtful discussions on issues we may face at some point in our lives. For those who haven't experienced this, I encourage you to listen and learn. There's valuable insight to be gained. If you enjoy the content, please hit the like button and subscribe. I appreciate your presence here. I value all comments, good, bad, or indifferent. Everyone's voice matters. I have a complex relationship with this topic as someone who has acted as my brother's keeper and applied that same energy to my sons. I've learned that it doesn't always turn out as expected. As a fictional character once said, life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you'll get. Successfully navigating adulthood provides the wisdom to handle whatever life throws your way. And I strive to approach challenges with as much grace as I've accumulated over the years. Of course, on screen you'll see shots of the well-known biblical quote, and we're going to discuss the significance of it. Not so much the biblical quote, but what it means to be my brother's keeper. Now let's get personal. I understand that personal matters typically shouldn't be shared online, since they last forever. But this applies to both those who are open and those who prefer to keep everything private. This channel is Rastazrealities, and I'm sharing my reality. Having taken on the role of my brother's keeper, I don't believe it turned out well. Here's why. Oftentimes my efforts felt undermined by my mother, who expected me to look after my brothers while she worked and managed the household. Now, this was a responsibility that I took on as a young boy with little guidance. Responsibilities that essentially was not my role. Meaning, I was essentially raising two other guys' kids, but these were my brothers. You see, and this is how the son-husband seeds get planted. And it's depending on the amount of discernment of the individual, meaning myself, or whether or not you would like to continue down the son-husband rabbit hole. Now, this is not intended as an attack on anyone. Rather, it's a sharing of Rasta's realities. We learn and grow together here. As I mentioned, I believe my role as my brother's keeper didn't yield positive results. No matter how much I looked out for them, they often took it for granted, including the support that I offered. I was there when my mother cried out of depression and frustration, unable to choose a dependable partner among many unreliable options. I was her firstborn and the only real support she had, at least in my opinion. I witnessed her in despair, the lack of accountability, and the blame shifting. No child or teenager should ever have to care for a household they did not create. Which brings us back to the question at hand. Am I my brother's keeper? When my responsibilities were shifted, I faced backlash for resisting what is now recognized as son husband, the son husband role. As the eldest, I took care of my brothers while I was still a child myself. For that very son husband had to fend for himself and others who didn't appreciate the significance of my efforts. So the question is, how can one stay committed to being their brother's keeper in such circumstances? The answer lies in perspective, the ability to see different sides of any situation and make necessary adjustments. The solution is growth from life's experiences, sometimes forced by physical and mental challenges. The growth I refer to is not just about learning from my lessons, but also about observing others in pain and applying the insights from their suffering to avoid my own. As our teachers used to say, put on your thinking cap. We must learn to practice being our brother's keeper while avoiding unnecessary anguish. Transform life's pain into a life of abundance. This involves transmuting negative and unpleasant experiences, applicable to both the physical and spiritual realms. While some people are in much worse situations than those depicted in this video, both in the past and the present, I cannot dictate how anyone should find peace and prosperity in their unique lives, but it must be pursued. I encourage you to take action. And that's the reality.
PTT.